International Journal of Health Policy and Management. Quality and speed are our culture and the keys to our success. Welcome to the audio summary section of the International Journal of Health Policy and Management.
Are you ever at a meeting where two people are talking about the same problem, but it's obvious that each of them sees it in a completely different way? Sometimes one just can't see that it's a problem at all. Sometimes they can agree there is a problem, but they've got completely different solutions. Now, this is natural, and in many situations the differences will be resolved by discussion. But sometimes they can't be resolved, and sometimes the discussions don't even take place because the two groups are not at the same table. This is particularly common in international development, where those who make the decisions may be at a table in New York or Washington or London or Geneva, while those affected by the decisions are somewhere else in Bamako or Kinshasa, or perhaps in a village far away from any national capital, maybe a village that's not even marked on a map. And in circumstances like this, each group may see the world in a completely different way. And when it happens, the decisions that are taken far too often lead to plans and projects that simply don't work. They may make sense to those who inhabit the world of the global elite, but they simply don't to those who struggle to survive from one day to the next. One organisation that has taken this very seriously is the World Bank. And what it found is absolutely fascinating. In our paper, we reviewed what the bank had done, summarising a series of experiments it conducted for the 2015 World Development Report. It looked at the cognitive biases that affect how its staff in Washington and around the globe view the world. It looked at how some of the poorest people in Nairobi view the risks of vaccination. Bank staff thought that about 42% of such people would agree with the statement that vaccination increases the risk of sterilisation. Yet the true figure was only 11%, and immunisation rates in that population were 80%, as high in some of the developed countries. Crucially, it didn't matter whether the staff asked were in Washington or in regional offices across the globe. They concluded that they all shared in the same vision of the world, and one that was actually wrong. They did some other experiments, including a well-known one where people are given more choices, making the problem more complex. And when they do that, they find that people are more likely to opt for the simplest solution, different from what they did when they had fewer choices. They looked at another classic experiment which considers how the problem is framed. People are much more likely to be certain when the problem is framed as a gain rather than a loss, even though the actual outcomes are identical. And then there's sunk cost bias, where people are more likely to stick with a decision if they've already spent lots of money on it, even though they know that it won't work. We've been really impressed by what the bank did. It offers a very good example of how a learning organisation should work, and we hope that our paper will bring this to a wider audience and encourage other organisations at the regional, national and international level to do the same.